I'm just glad
What's
that
an all-round central midfield?
I'm just glad
Flawless.
I'm just glad that you, the viewer, can see that Shopsy came here with an agenda.
Oh
He's
no,
put-
100%.
Of
100%,
course.
100%.
So thank you very much. So
Steven Gerrard agenda is my loudest. Gerrard and Messi. Yo, what's up, people? We're back for yet another episode of Shangalo. It's your boy, Shopsy, and Tele, as usual. So today we're going to have a conversation that's been had a couple times in football. We've had it between ourselves, and I want to bring you guys in on the conversation. I think things have changed in the last couple of years. So I feel like it's a good time to revisit this conversation. So we're looking at the top 5 midfielders in Premier League history.
Of all time. No, maybe not of all time. That we've really watched.
I guess the Premier League started not too long ago. It's probably of all time, to be honest.
Actually.
So I'm gonna go first with my first pick. For multiple reasons, I think this is the best midfielder playing in Premier League. I think he could do everything you want for a midfield player. He scored goals, he could tackle, he could pass the ball, everything at a very high level. I think the proof for the fact that he is the best for me is the fact that he is the midfielder that's featured in Team of the Season the most times in Premier League history. He's finished 3rd in the Ballon d'Or ranking. For me, it's my guy, Steven Gerrard, of course. The best midfielder in the Premier League history, Steven Gerrard.
So the thing with Shopsy is that I saw your list and I saw how you.
Why are you seeing my list? So you saw it.
I saw how you put it out, and why did you change it? Gerrard wasn't your number
Oh
one.
no, Gerrard has
Been Gerrard's your number one.
100%. I think Gerrard is top 2 midfielders of all time that I've seen, Gerrard and Zidane. But we'll leave that for another day.
Okay. So my number one midfielder of all time is Frank Lampard, and that is another midfielder who, very similar to Steven Gerrard in many regards. He could also tackle, he could pass the ball, he could score. He scored loads of goals. He's still, I think, the highest goal scorer for Chelsea.
Yeah. Like top 5 scorers in the Premier League.
And top 5 goal scorers in Premier League
But that's all Lampard was, man. A poacher. I'm here to say it right now.
But
a poacher that fed off the hard work of our brother Didier Drogba. The ball just dropped, Lampard will arrive, just keep talking. And you know one thing I hate about Lampard? Deflected goals. That's where you find Lampard. So yeah, top player.
But you know this saying, if you don't buy the ticket, you won't win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
If he's not taking those shots, if he's not in those positions to score those goals, then
they was put in those positions by tactics. So that's the thing. Lampard was a midfielder, but he was a false 9. He was a second striker. I think that's why he scored so many goals.
You think Gerrard wasn't put in this position because of tactics too?
No, but Gerrard played deeper. That's my point. So I think Lampard scored a lot of goals by virtue of playing higher up the pitch and the responsibilities in the team he got.
Well, Frank Lampard, still one of the best midfielders to play in the Premier League and even in the world as well. You know, Ballon d'Or.
He finished second in Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or, second.
He won the Champions League, multiple Team of the Season appearances as well. Did it for multiple years. Top player, and Frank Lampard is my number 2 pick. But I just want the world to know that between Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, if you actually watch these guys play football, let me talk. If you actually watch these guys play football, you watch those seasons in Premier League. The matches you watch Steven Gerrard play, Steven Gerrard was a force of nature. Steven Gerrard looked like the best player on the pitch, even in matches where he did not score. This guy was everywhere. Lampard scored a lot of goals. I think he's there for that. But the quality of Steven Gerrard was second to none.
I'm just glad.
What's an all-round central midfielder?
I'm just glad.
Flawless.
I'm just glad that you, the viewer, can see that Shopsy came here with an agenda.
Oh no, 100%.
Of course. So thank you very much. So
Steven Gerrard agenda is my loudest. Gerrard and Messi.
So Frank Lampard definitely my number 1 pick. And you already mentioned Steven Gerrard as your number 2 pick.
No, Lampard as my number 1.
Yeah, sorry. Gerrard as your number 1, Lampard as your number 2. So I have Lampard as number 1, and then let me go on to my number 2 pick, which is actually Steven Gerrard.
Fair enough.
I hate the Scouse, but Gerrard, you can't.
Oh man, the goals he scored, fun fact, Gerrard is the only player to have scored in the Europa League final, Champions League final, FA Cup final, and Carling Cup final. So all the cup finals
Conference League final.
Bagged. Did he play Conference League final? Oh, you think he's your team? Alright, so yeah, top 2, I like that we agree on the top 2.
Yeah, similar.
But number 3 is where I think it might get tricky, and number 3 is what has changed for me recently. And this is the player that I think this is the most creative player in Premier League history. If I'm starting if I had to give the ball to any midfielder, start an attack for me in the Premier League history, I'm giving it to this player. He's a 2-time PFA winner, which is a club that only has 3 other players. He's playing in a team that this team has probably dominated the Premier League more than any other team in terms of their points tally and all that. And he's head and shoulders the best player on the team. There's no competition. And that's Kevin De Bruyne for me. I think at this point, he's come up some places for me, and I have to give him his flowers now. Number 3, Kevin De Bruyne.
So for me, my number 3 player is Paul Scholes, Manchester United great, England legend. 107 goals, I think, in the Premier League, 20-something goals in the Champions League.
That's a lot of goals for a player that, like, he was a passing player. He wasn't getting up as far.
He was not.
In his early stages, he used to get up far. But
tactically, I mean, because I remember you made that point about Steven Gerrard. Frank Lampard, about tactics, putting him in that position. But with Paul Scholes, it was a different thing entirely.
And that kind of goes back to my point about how all these players that have this quality, they could score the goals Lampard scored, because a lot of the goals Scholes scored when his earlier days, and that's when he was younger. There was even, my brother's Manchester United fan, so I remember some of these things. There was even a chance he scores goals, Paul Scholes. Like, he was no for scoring when they put him there, but they remodeled his game to drop
a little bit deeper, And so Paul Scholes definitely does it for me at number 3. The goals, he was a mainstay in the club for the longest. Remember, he actually retired at a point. Ferguson had to beg him to come back out, or come out of retirement, to come and help stabilize the midfield. Even I think he was 32 or 33 at that point already. Paul Scholes for me, the number of Champions Leagues. He was part of the young Manchester United team in 1999 that won everything. And Paul Scholes.
Very decorated baller. So I'm on to my number 4 pick. I made a little switcheroo on the spot here. You thought I did it before, but now I'll make that switch. And I'm going to give that number 4 pick to Paul Scholes. Scholes isn't typically the type of midfielder that I love, as in I like my all-action midfielders that can spray the ball, tackle, score from range and do it often. Although he did score from range, and that's one thing he did. But the type of player Scholes he was very different. Like, he dictated the tempo like no other player. Like, Scholes switch it at the right time, pass it quick at the right time, play the short passes at the right time, and that was what set up a lot of attacks for Manchester United for that long. And to be a main cog in a team that dominated the Premier League for that long speaks volumes of your talent. And as you said, he left, there were problems, they brought him back.
At his old age.
They built him out, apparently bought boots from the corner store and was bossing the Premier League again. So I'll give Scholes his flowers and have him at number 4.
Definitely, even when he came back, it wasn't like he came back and he played second fiddle or something. He still balled.
That number 4 I have him at. I think people are going to want to kill me for having Kevin De Bruyne over him, but I respect him. But for me, Kevin De Bruyne just edged it for me.
I think he edges Kevin De Bruyne for me. You want to say something? Sorry.
Yeah, no. So we're on to
number 4 now for me. My number 4 player is Yaya Toure, Manchester City player. But this African brother did everything. He was big. He was commanding in the midfield, 70-something goals overall in the Premier League. He was a different beast entirely, and he single-handedly held on to, or let me say, lifted Manchester City, from the beginning of their revival. Don't let me say revival, from the beginning of their growth, I would say, from Mancini,
key player in those years.
So key, massive player for me. Yaya Toure, number 4.
So I'm going to have Yaya as well as my 5th pick. I think Yaya Toure's peak was probably the best of all these players. That season where he was scoring free kicks like every other day, scoring from range. He scored like 20 goals from midfield. I don't think any of these players have done that. I'm not sure if Frank Lampard scored 20 goals in the season. If he did, maybe only once or twice in how many years. So Yaya Toure for me, he was, like you said, he was strong, he was fast, he could pass, Yaya is a player that could play so well going for, he could get you 20 goals, but he's also a player that could play centre back. And that is very different. That's a unicorn in football. Who else in the history of football can do those two things? But Yaya Toure. So Yaya Toure, top 5 Premier League midfielder of all time.
It's kind of interesting for me that our list is somewhat similar. I didn't expect
it's
that
the order that I guess
this similar.
KDB versus Scholes is. I think we should do a poll and let's see.
Let us know what you think.
Let's know if I'm going crazy or.
No, I definitely picked Scholes over.
No, I say KDB. So let me know. I think I might be in the minority. Let me know if there are a few of you that were scared to say this at home. As in, I'm giving you. I'm on Shangalo for you guys.
You guys you'll be hounded for that. Why? But for me, my number 5 midfielder of all time in the Premier League is Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, he's currently playing. We can see what he's doing, for Manchester City. Even though, he's moving on towards like the twilight of his career, I think. But yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, 57 goals so far. Not the most prolific, especially on this list that I have. Thierry bagged like 70-something goals.
When you think that Scholes has 100 goals and Scholes played in the Premier League his entire career, I think De Bruyne came to the Premier League like 5 years ago and probably still has like.
And he didn't just. He played in Chelsea.
He played like 10
went,
games
came back.
He played like 10 matches. So I think Kevin De Bruyne can probably wrap up like 80 goals in Premier League. But the assist.
80 goals.
When it's done, he's on 50 now. Over the next 3 seasons, he scored 15 goals last season.
I don't
he
think
scored
that's
15 goals last season.
And they now have Erling Haaland, who is expected to bang in those goals, and he's probably going to be the one expected to assist most of those Haaland goals.
If he plays, I expect Kevin De Bruyne to average 10 goals a season. He's that level of player. He can score you. His average is like 10 goals a season.
Let's see.
So, barring injury, but I think it's the assists that make Kevin De Bruyne different. He's the quickest player to reach 50 assists in Premier League.
87 assists.
Yeah, the rate at which he assists is probably the highest we've seen in the history of the Premier League.
And even amongst some of these midfielders, I think I'll still say he's the best assister.
He is. I'm playing that final ball. Kevin De Bruyne and Mesut Ozil are the 2 best I've seen in my time.
In distributing the ball, giving assists.
Playing that final ball.
Definitely.
The guys
right up there. So Kevin De Bruyne does it for me at number 5, and that wraps up my list.
Okay, and so that's our top 5. You guys let us know where you agree, where you disagree. Let us know your top 5 in the comment section.
Yep.
And I feel like talking about Kevin De Bruyne is a nice segue into our second topic for today, which is Manchester City's dominance, and how do you see it? How do you give it? What level of credit do you give it at this point?
So I'll give it credit to the extent that there is a cohesion in the entire project of the squad, of the club, not even just the squad, of course, of the entire club, right? There is a project on ground. The project started. You can say when the project started. You can say how the project has progressed up until this point. You can tell where the project is at right now, and you can tell what the project aims to achieve, in the coming years. All that's left for them at the moment is, I would say, maybe just the Champions League, right? For them to really solidify themselves as a major European superpower. At the moment, you would still say that they are top 2, top 3 sides in world football, top 2, top 3 club sides in world football, bar Liverpool and maybe Bayern Munich. I think Manchester City, I would give them credit up until that point. But if you're talking about, great club sides, the fact that their history is lacking,
So it's the lack of history and the fact that, this dominance, it's nice when you look at the list of winners. You see Manchester City multiple times. But me, maybe this is the fact that I'm the one competing against it. But just the way it's been gone about has just always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I just don't like the fact that in sports, it's the case. It's sports and it's life, to be honest. But it's just I don't like the fact that the richest teams just do what they like and keep winning. So first of all, they've outspent everybody, and it's a business. If you spend more than everybody
over the past decade,
by a significant amount, if you outspend everybody in almost any business, you're likely to get the best result. You're getting the best in class in everything. And not only are they spending the most money, so they're being funded by states, which is obviously inflating their sponsorship deals and all that. But on top of that, they're still breaking financial fair play as well. They signed 50 million players, and if it doesn't work out, they throw them by the wayside. And sign another
50
one.
million.
Am I lying?
50
Mangala,
million
how much was? No, 50 million in value.
Oh, in value.
Okay. So players worth 50 million, and where other clubs will say, okay, we spend 50, 60 million on a player, so let's keep them around. Let's wait for them to come good. Like Arsenal are still holding on to Pepe because they spend so much on him. If Pepe was at Man City, they would have cut him out and brought in the next hot winger from that immediately. And so things like that just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's why I'm very happy that Yaya Touré's curse is still booming on them. And Manchester City, and they yet to pick up Champions League.
Right, and that would make me now ask the question: When do you think Manchester City will win? The Champions League moving forward. Like, I don't think it will happen this season. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this season because they've had to they will have to rejig the way they play, this season. So I'm not thinking this season.
The circumstances to win the Champions League.
You get me? So let's say maybe next 3 seasons.
Yeah, I feel like just based on the odds and the fact that they're going to play in the Champions League every season while Pep is there, while they have this money. So at some point they have to stumble upon it. I think it took some time for Chelsea to get there finally. PSG still haven't gotten there with all their money, so it will fall upon them. Like at some point they have to win it.
It will
right?
fall up, really?
At
Fall
some
upon
point,
them?
like
Is that what
the
it
chips
is?
the stars were
The stars
aligned
were
one
aligned,
season
right?
and it will happen. Like surely.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
Haaland
definitely,
is the piece, maybe not. We'll
yeah,
see how it
definitely
goes.
does kind of look like it for Manchester City.
So yeah, I think that's where we can wrap up the episode.
Yep.
Don't forget to let us know your top 5 Premier League midfielders of all time. Let us know your comments on our top 5 Premier League midfielders. Manchester City, how great do you think they've been? How great do you think they will continue to be? And what's in store for them in the future? Let us know in the comment section. And remember, there's an opportunity to rep your club. One of you is coming on here very soon. It might be you. It's not too late to secure your spot.
All right.
See you next time.
Peace.